8-zip. The Dodgers take game 3 of the National League Championship Series. They have a 2-1 lead, and we've got 2 games today. So we are going to preview ALCS Game 3 and NLCS Game 4. Jack Peter, Just Baseball Show.
We are sponsored by BetMGM, and we got something new for the postseason. We've been hyping it up. BetMGM Sportsbook account holders who opt into the bullpen jackpot promotion and place a straight bet of at least $10 on their choice of any MLB player to hit a home run will win a share of a daily $50,000 BetMGM bullpen jackpot if the player they wagered on hits a home run that lands in an MLB team bullpen. Prizing will be paid out in bonus bets that expire in 7 days. The offer is going to be available every day throughout the postseason. Customers, all they need to do, place a $10 or more wager on any MLB player to hit a home run. And if they do and it lands in the bullpen, you get a share of that $50,000 daily prize. Make sure to use code JustBaseball for that first bet offer up to $1,500 in bonus bets. If your wager loses to get started, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER, must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. There were plenty of home runs by the Dodgers in this game. I don't think any landed in the bullpen, though, unfortunately.
No, you've got the game rundown. No bullpen, but Shohei Ohtani hit one to Mars. Was it Mars? Was it Neptune? Like it landed somewhere halfway up the second deck. I saw your Peter Vision point. This is one of the few times that I do agree with Peter Vision. Like
Few times. What are you
it's
talking about? Few times. I've
a
never been
fake.
wrong ever.
Yeah, Statcast put out a fake number.
They
Peter Vision
do?
is closer to what Statcast. No, I mean
Jack, I'm trying to help people. Don't tear it down when I'm just right.
no. I said Statcast put out a fake number for the Otani homer. You put out the real homer.
I always put out the real number. What are you talking about? You think sometimes I don't put out the real number?
Yeah, I do. I'll be honest.
You don't know what you're talking about. All right, you time to is it time to round up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fink he was getting after it with the roundup. Way
Was he?
more than
Did he
Aram.
growl?
Yeah, he tried. He's new. It's okay. He was giving it his best shot.
No, but like that's what we need. We need buy-in. And the fact that Aram doesn't give us buy-in is just the most discouraging thing about the podcast.
It's probably the worst thing about the podcast, if we're being completely
The
honest.
lack of buy-in on the growl, on the R and roundup.
I mean, why are we even here if we're not rounding up?
Yeah,
All right.
fair.
Top of the second is where the scoring starts for the Dodgers. Max Muncy walks. Teoscar Hernandez hits a little dribbler fielded by Francisco Alvarez, tries to get at the out at second base, but it didn't work. I know we're very early already into the roundup, but I know you saw that play. Do you think he made the right decision trying to do too much? That's what it kind of felt like to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, like it was just one of those where in the moment it felt like it was going to mean a lot more than it actually did, so I kind of pushed it to
Yeah.
the back of my mind, but I'm with you.
Yeah, at the time, it felt really bad, but then it went down the line, it didn't end
Yeah.
up mattering. Gavin Lux grounds back to the pitcher. Maybe Severino could have turned 2, but he dropped it. Does get the out at first. Runners on second and third with 1 out. Will Smith, infield hit on the 9th pitch of the AB. Great at bat. Great ABs all day from Will Smith. We're going to talk about Will Smith in a minute. Just great all around game. Tough play for Severino again, the Gold Glove finalists, and scores a run. Dodgers up 1-0. Tyrone Taylor, diving catch in
Yeah.
center field. The wind is swirling. They showed you the graphics on screen where the different directions of the wind. Had to avoid Starling Marte colliding with him in the process. Scores a run on the sac fly, but just an insanely great play by Met center fielder Tyrone Taylor. At this point in the game, Dodgers are up 2-0. Bottom second, Buehler works out of a bases loaded jam. Top of the third, Severino works out of a bases loaded jam. Just going back and forth. The stuff from these two guys was excellent, but Buehler was just a little bit freaking better. Walker Buehler back. 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned, 2 walks, 6 punch outs. Luis Severino, 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks, 3 Ks. Do you have any takeaways on the starters, or should we wait till the end, just kind of go over all of it?
Let's wait till the end because obviously we're going to spend a bit of time on Bueller.
Perfect. Go to the top of the 6th, more scoring for the Dodgers, and this is the theme here. Tommy Edmonds singles with 2 outs, advances to second on a balk. Kike Hernandez continues his postseason tear with a home run to left field, his second of the postseason, raising his OPS this postseason to 982. 4-0 Dodgers. Kike Hernandez, 15 career postseason home runs. That's more than Aaron Judge and Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds has 9. Aaron Judge has 14. Kike Hernandez has 15. Top of the 8th, Will Smith walks. Tommy Edman flies out. Kike Hernandez singles again. And then Shohei. 3-run bomb, second of the postseason for him, gives the Dodgers a 7-0 lead. It was almost foul, but it wasn't. Shohei is now 0 for 22 with the bases empty. But with runners on, 7 for 9, 2 bombs, 8 RBIs per Jesse Rogers of ESPN. And in the top of the ninth, cherry on top of the Sunday, Max Muncy homers to right field to give the Dodgers an 8-0 lead, and that was that. Kike Hernandez, 2 for 5 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Will Smith, 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Max Muncy, 2 for 2 with 2 runs, an RBI, and 3 walks. And the Dodgers bullpen behind Walker Buehler, dominant per usual. 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. A lot of takeaways here.
Lots. Let's start with the man of the hour, the guy that was appearing on our show every week for the entirety of his Tommy John recovery in 2023. The guy that admitted to Ken Rosenthal postgame that it has been a very hard year for him in a bunch of different ways. Like he's had several really hard years in a row in a myriad of different ways. 2022, it's when he blows out for the second time in his baseball life. 2023, he has to spend the entire year rehabbing. He experiences that setback after he went on rehab to OKC at the end of the year. In 24, Bueller's back. But that Buehler wasn't necessarily back, and he's the first one to admit that. It's like I gotta regain my previous form, and that has been the narrative around Walker Buehler to this point this year. For him to turn in that and remind people that he is one of the better postseason pitchers that we have in Major League Baseball that is on an active roster right now. I don't care how young, I don't care how old. This guy is one of the best big moment pitchers that we have in the game. He salivates for opportunities like this. And for him to pitch when he could possibly see his breath, and you see the nose getting a little red, and for him to spin that disgusting bender to Lindor in a full count with the bases loaded to get out of the inning, and for him to bark at Lindor or whoever he was barking at, that was the vintage Bueller. That's the Bueller that you fall in love with. That's the Bueller in 21 when we were project a plate in the beginning of the Just Baseball era, the first year of the podcast. I'm telling you, I think this guy's the best pitcher in baseball because he pitches pissed in the best way. And those 4 innings was so vintage Bueller. And I hope that he found that and can roll with that sensation. Is that sensation impossible to replicate during the regular season? I think so, but it can give you a shit ton of confidence rolling into the 2025 regular season. It feels like this was the page turner for Walker Buehler, and that is so exciting for him, for us, for everybody that loves the LA Dodgers, for everybody that loves watching this guy pitch, for everybody that loves watching pitching excellence. He's one of the best pitchers in the game when he's right. He hasn't been right for about 3 years now, and this was the closest he's looked to right, and he was pitching pissed in the best way.
Fantastic breakdown. I'll just fill in a couple of the cracks. Just good to see the stuff tick up.
Yeah.
21 inches of induced vertical break on the fastball. Again, that gives it that rising effect. That's
Yeah.
the vintage Bueller fastball. Now, there's a couple of things he can work on, right? We saw the stuff tick back up. That's the Bueller we're used to. 6 strikeouts in 4 innings. I'm sure if you ask Bueller, a big issue for him this year and over the past few seasons when he's continued to rehab back from injury is he hasn't had the put away stuff. Even if he gets to an 0-2 count, he hasn't been able to find that consistent pitch in order to wipe the batter out to get 3 strikes. This game he did. He could go to that curveball. He was getting it on the sweeper. He was getting it on the cutter. He was getting it on all of his pitches, which all he has to do now to continue to dominate throughout the playoffs, just hone in the command, right? The only reason he went 4 innings was because of the pitch count. I'm sure Dave Roberts and company, their plan was to get 5 from Bueller and then 4 from their high leverage arms and shut the door, go up 2-1, because as we know, teams who win the 3rd game of the series win the series 70% of the time.
When it's
That was
tied
the plan.
1-1. Yeah,
Yes,
when it's
exactly. My
tied
bad.
1-1.
Yes, when
Yeah.
it is tied 1-1. So that was the plan. And Bueller pitched as good to get there. The only thing was the pitch count. And luckily, the Dodgers scored enough where it was a lot of easy innings for some of their high leverage relievers. Like that game could really not have gone better for the Dodgers unless Buehler maybe went one more inning. But if I'm a
No,
Dodger fan sitting here today, watching that stuff from him, watching our bullpen again dominate, strikeout stuff, Mets didn't have a chance. Like, you have
getting
to feel so good right now.
getting 6 outs from Ben Kasparius to cap a shutout in the NLCS? Like, that right there embodies best case scenario.
I think we have to kind of investigate the Dodgers. That's not a real person. They just
Ben
spawned him.
Kasparius?
That's not a real person. They
You
spawned him.
clearly don't watch much Yukon baseball during February and March.
It's funny, I
Ben
actually watched some
Kasparius.
UConn. I bet on a weird amount of UConn baseball this year. They they had a little bit of value. So I watched some UConn baseball this year, but you're right. I have not been deep into the Huskies.
Yeah, you should get deep into the Huskies, the land of George Springer for a minute. There
Yep.
was Mason Fioli was a lefty that I think capped at high A in the Padres system, but
I will I
2021
will I
Kasparius, yeah.
I will give you some credit. I mean, that is ball knower shit that you just laid out right there. I have no idea who you just talked about.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
idea.
exactly.
That's
But
ball
that's
knower
like
shit.
that's also, being in weird lower rungs of the broadcasting ladder for a while, and that's also being a total dork. And like I had this conversation, like people think I'm way cooler now than I've really ever been because we have like this podcast and we're not cool. Come on.
No.
Like you have to remember that we are dorks and
Yeah,
that's why
we're
we
just a
know
couple
this
of
shit.
we're just a couple of fat dudes who look at numbers and watch baseball at the time.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
don't say that about me.
don't lump me in with that.
Ben Kasparius, by the way, started his career at UNC, was a good reliever, wanted a starting opportunity, so went to UConn. 2021, had an ERA over 4 in 91 innings, but the Dodgers took him and turned him into a reliever that is getting 6 outs in the NLCS.
Barely threw for them in the regular season at all. I mean, this is another Andrew Saalfrank.
Yeah, it is that kind of thing. He was a starter in OKC, and he was a really good one too. He had a 3.36 in the PCL in 67 innings. Like he was a good starter this year in minor league baseball. I think they saw a guy that could get it done for multi-inning relief, and I all of a sudden they have him. I do think that he's a starting pitching option if free agency doesn't go the way that they need it to, and Gavin Stone missing the entirety of the year. I have no idea what the deal is with Dustin May. Emmett Sheehan is probably 3 months away, but we're spending a lot of time on Ben Kasparius. Can we talk about the 2 blasts at the end? Obviously, Kike's homer was like the most meaningful homer, but I mean, Muncy leaned with it, and Otani sent one to the stratosphere. These were big swings from the Dodgers that made me feel like they were the Dodgers.
Yeah, Joe Davis said, he said it on the broadcast that the Dodgers will go as far as Shohei Otani will take them. And I kind of disagree with that. And I feel wrong for disagreeing with the Dodgers announcer who's calling a playoff game for the Dodgers. He knows the Dodgers better than I do. But the reason I disagree, and maybe I'm wrong here, is how good everybody else has been on the Dodgers throughout the playoffs so far, right? We're talking about Kike
I
Hernandez
mean,
putting up an OPS over. Go ahead.
Kike's doing this, like career OPS over 900.
Yeah, Tommy Edman puts up a consistent AB every single time. Will Smith, I think, at his best game of the postseason, right? Walker even talked about it in his post-game interview. Shutouts in the playoffs don't happen that often, and that's a big testament to Will Smith behind the plate, and
No
then
doubt.
another great day actually at the plate. Max Muncy is swinging a bat that is on fire. I know Freddie Freeman didn't have a great game today, but outside of today, he's been great too. Teoscar Hernandez has had his big hits. All down the line, they've been great. And they have a few losses in the postseason when Shohei Otani is 0 for 22 with the bases empty. Now, I know he's 7 for 9. I know he's great, but the Dodgers are so good, both in the bullpen, at the plate behind Otani. Even the starting pitchers have given them great starts. Flaherty's coming off that dominant performance. Buehler's coming off this performance. The Dodgers are not going to go as far as Shohei can take them. Shohei is a key cog in an otherwise dominant team. So I was surprised to hear Joe Davis say that when you're watching the rest of the roster, 1 to
Yeah.
25, 24 of them, everybody's doing their part. It's
So
almost like saying that the Mets will go as far as Lindor will take them. The rest of the Mets are playing really well right now. What are we talking about?
I think Lindor's importance might actually be greater to the New York Mets than Ohtani's importance to
Probably.
the LA Dodgers. Having said that, Ohtani has been prolific with runners in scoring position, and it's
Yes.
like you mentioned the numbers. He's 7 for his last 9 with runners in scoring position in the postseason. What, dating back to the regular season? Isn't it something crazy like 19 for 22 or so? I don't have the exact number in front of me, but it gets even gaudier and even crazier when you look at it through the scope of the end of the regular season. Um, I to play devil's advocate, it's an easy one to make if you are trying to push the narrative of Shohei Ohtani being that guy, and Ohtani is that guy. Like if
Of
I
course he
was
is.
in that position as well, I'd be, saying something really similar where it's like, this is the best player on the planet. And he's kicking ass with runners in scoring position. So why wouldn't they go as far as Shohei Ohtani would take them? But you make a good point. Like in theory, Ohtani could go 0 for 4, and Kike has a homer, and Muncy homers, and Teoscar hits a 2-run shot as well, and they win because the bullpen's amazing and they got 5 shutout from Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Like that's totally in the realm of possibilities
That's
versus
what happening. That is what's happening right now. I mean, the
exactly,
Dodgers win this
exactly.
game 5-0 without Ohtani in the lineup at all.
Right. And I think you would hear it on the American League side as well. It's like, oh, the Yankees will go as far as Judge will take him. No,
No,
not the case.
no.
I think baseball is beautiful because it is a summation of its parts. Like it's Otani and
Yeah.
Kike and Teoscar. It's Judge and Soto and Gleyber Torres and Luke Weaver.
Yes.
Like it's things like that where it's all adding up versus a basketball, like an NBA playoffs where, a certain guy can carry a team through the entirety of the postseason and win it. Like there were some LeBron rosters when he was in Cleveland the first go around that it's like, how did you drag these guys to the NBA
Mo
finals?
Williams, Anderson
Yeah, like
Varejao.
Boobie Gibson, Zydrunas Ilgauskas was actually good. Like he might have been the second best player on some of those teams. But my point is, baseball, you can't really get away with one guy getting you there. If you have an example of that, leave it in the YouTube comments. I might refute it, but, like, I don't think that baseball there's a way for one guy to get you through the entirety of a postseason.
You're right. The only one I can kind of remember, David Freese, St. Louis Cardinals, 2011.
Yeah, but even
You just
then,
see the
dude, like,
home run every time.
that starting rotation put together
No,
some crazy,
no, you're
crazy
you're
outings.
100% right. It's just as soon as you ask that question,
Yeah,
David Freese just sat in my brain and said,
fair.
"Talk about me."
'Cause he kept him alive. I totally understand that, and that's probably the best answer. But, I mean, he kept him alive, and I don't know, I just feel like baseball more so than others is a summation of its parts on the roster, and we
Yeah.
talk about units, like, there can be a bullpen that wins you a World Series. There can be a starting rotation that gets you to the World Series. There can be a lineup that wins you the World Series, but it's not really one guy. That is what actually makes me even more excited for 2025 because, like, it could be one guy because he hits and pitches.
Thoughts on the Mets right now?
Good question. Very open-ended.
Yeah, it is very open-ended because
No,
you
a
can go
good
a
way.
lot of different directions, right? They lost game 1 9-0. It was a worse loss than this, technically. Actually, Bob Nightingale did say tonight, he tweeted out that the Dodgers did win 9-0.
Yeah, he might have just
Never
copy
change,
and
Bob.
pasted that.
Never change, Bob. I love you. He's like one of the biggest baseball journalists, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they won the next game. The Mets have been doing this all season long. So, I mean, me going into this series, I don't think that my opinion has changed. I still have the Dodgers winning in 6. I think they are definitely the better team. There's just so much talent, and like they're doing this kind of without Otani in a way. If you are a Mets fan, if you are a Dodgers fan, watching every single inning of this series, or fans of any team watching this, you know that it hasn't been all Shohei. So the fact is that they've been this dominant. They've also proven that they can come back if they are in a hole, right? They were down 2-1 to the Padres.
Yeah.
So they have fight in them. You know, the Dodgers also have the most come from behind wins this season, 43. You know who's number
Yeah.
2? Funny enough, we're going to talk about them in a bit.
Ooh, the Guardians?
The Guardians.
So,
You know who's 3?
Guardians make sense because the bullpen holds it.
You know who's 3?
Also alive right now or no?
Mets.
Interesting.
Isn't
So
that
the
crazy?
Mets, like, that actually feels like magic. The Guardians is like, okay, well, their bullpen takes over, and it's like, the other team's total is just staying where it is.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, is there like, if they're trailing in the first, does that count as a comeback win?
I don't know. I just looked up comeback wins
I
leaders.
would
I don't know how
assume
they quantified it.
I would assume like trailing at any point in the game. And I think the narrative around the Dodgers this year, like the thing at least that I took away from the Dodgers this year was they could allow a crooked number, and then a half inning later they put up a more crooked number. Like that
Yeah.
lineup was just way too good to like not respond to a 5-run second with a 7-run third.
Yeah. I so yeah, my opinion still hasn't changed. I think the Mets are going to get another win under their belt, but
Yeah,
I don't love their chances in game 4 with Yamamoto, but the Mets did save a lot of their bullpen. Like they kind of let McGill get killed out there a little bit in order to really
it,
save the bullpen. So they're going to have all their great arms. Stanek is a beast. And then maybe David Peterson now can pitch game 5. Fink and I were talking about that yesterday, right? Who's
yeah,
going to go game 5? Peterson is an excellent option there. So I still feel like the Mets are going to stay competitive in the series. I just
yeah.
think the Dodgers are too overwhelming and it keeps going back and forth. And the Mets could even win game 4, but my opinion really isn't going to change. I'm still sticking with Dodgers in 6.
Yeah. So I'll go to the old adage, right? You're only as good as your next day starting pitcher. I don't think today's, and I'll save it really for the preview that I'm sure we're going to get to in the matter of moments. But I don't think that there's this insane contrast between today's starting pitchers in Game 4 of the CS. Like I wouldn't necessarily like stamp myself with, oh, the Dodgers have a starting pitching advantage in
No,
this one. Do we want to
Quintana's been a
start
stud.
previewing? Yeah, he's been awesome. Do we want to like transition to the preview, or do you have any thoughts on this game?
Only last thing, Severino is really and I just wanted to mention Severino because Severino will always have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, for sure.
Loved him on the Yankees, was really disappointed kinda how it ended, signs with the Mets, don't have a ton of expectations for him. There was 180 innings, been so solid all year, Gold Glove finalist, he was a good defender, he holds runners well. And he battled out there against an offense that was just I mean, that was a really bad matchup for him. They're good against his pitch mix. They've seen him before. A lot of the Dodgers hitters have great numbers against him. Still was able to give the Mets or the yeah, he was able to give the Mets length. Only gave up 3 hits. I thought he was great again. And I just wanted to shout him out as somebody who will get completely lost in the shuffle of this game. He kept the Mets in it. The Dodgers just put up a bunch of runs later, but he kept the Mets in it.
I said in like July or August that Sevy's made himself a lot of money this year.
Mhm.
I think October's kind of helping him make even more money. I
Oh,
think
yeah, he's
Sevy just made a bag, and I
multi-year
think the
guy.
Mets should bring him back.
Probably a 3-year guy.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Like,
It's getting up there if you're going like 4, 5. I mean,
I would say like I wouldn't give him a 5-year deal, but I think 4. Like I think he can ask for 4 and have several suitors. But
yeah,
like,
I think he should start with 4. I think he lands on a 3-year deal though.
yeah, but
But we'll
like,
see. We'll see. He's definitely a
why couldn't
multi-year guy. There's no doubt about it now.
yeah, and like why couldn't he sign 4 for 80 or something like that? Like
I wouldn't
that's
bat an eye at all.
I wouldn't bat an eye. I
Nope.
think Sevy and Mania have made themselves pretty damn expensive this year in a great way for themselves.
Manaea might be the second best pitcher in the postseason.
Yeah,
He can go toe to toe with Cole. He can go toe to toe with anybody. Manaea is the Manaea is the truth.
he is the truth. Let's preview these two games here: NLCS Game 4 and ALCS Game 3. Let's start with NLCS Game 4. Just stick on this series.
Yeah.
This one is Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Jose Quintana. Following up that point that I was making a couple minutes ago, I don't think it's crazy to say that this starting pitching matchup is a wash. I know that the stuff is way louder for Yamamoto. He was really not good in game 1 against the Padres. He was really good in game 5 against the Padres. So he comes into this one having seen the pendulum swing from bad to good. Quintana has had his line stay on great to great. He was excellent in the wild card series. He was excellent in the DS against Philly. This guy has 11 scoreless innings in the postseason under his belt to this point. Quintana is executing, and it is a matter of him painting corners and him mixing pitches to a way that keeps hitters sorta kinda on their heels because at the end of the day, Jose Quintana looks every bit of the 36 years old he is right now. Is he 35 or 36?
Jose Quintana is 35.
He's 35. He looks every bit the 35 on the mound because, like, it's 90. But at the end of the day, he was awesome and an all-star caliber pitcher for a few years there in Chicago on the South Side when he was 92 to 93. He's 90 now, but he's still doing the Quintana thing where it's like gloves on the lower outside corner, ball's going to the lower outside corner. Gloves up and in, ball's going up and in. Like, he is damn near flawless. And right now, like, it's hard to bank on flawless, but I'm kind of sort of banking on flawless tonight with Jose Quintana, and I think that this guy can do that at home opposite Yamamoto. I'm really excited for this starting pitching matchup. I was excited for last night, Bueller Severino. I did not think I was going to say, yeah, Quintana Yamamoto is going to be an even awesome pitching matchup coming into the year, but that's where I'm at on this one.
I can't wait for this game. Both pitchers have thrown against these offenses this year. No, obviously, it's not the same lineup, right?
Yeah.
Yamamoto faced the Mets earlier on in the year when the Mets were kind of struggling. 6 innings, 3 earned. Quintana also faced the Dodgers. Guess what his line was? 6 innings, 3 earned.
Wow.
So, both quality starts for the gentleman. Here's what I'm going back and forth on, Jack. I think Yamamoto found it.
Yeah.
And I think this is the guy you paid $300 million for. And I've been waiting for it. I drafted him to my freaking playoff team when we had a lot of options for different starting pitchers, and I went with Yamamoto. I think that this guy, for lack of a better term, has enormous nuts. I think that he is cold-blooded on the mound. I think that he can mix and match so many different pitches, and he needed just like that start to just rev up the confidence. And now you got a confidence-laden Yamamoto with command of that many pitches. And also, I don't know about you. I felt like every pitcher on the mound tonight, maybe outside of Trevor McGill, the spin rates were up. I don't know if it's that cold air, gripping the baseball is easier. Yamamoto with more spin.
It'd be awesome.
That's what it feels like to me. But here's why I'm conflicted, right? Because it wouldn't make
You,
sense if I just said how good Yamamoto
no,
is,
no,
but
you
I'm
know
still
what's funny?
conflicted.
You know what's funny there real quick is you mentioned in New York when it's cold out, we're talking about spin being up, and now we're citing adrenaline versus we were citing some foreign shit with Joe
Don't say
Musgrove 2
we.
years ago.
Don't say we were the people making fun of the Joe Musgrove ear people.
Yeah, fair,
Yeah,
fair,
that's what we were doing shit.
fair.
But yes, in City Field, it's clear, like it's crisp air. There's no
Everybody's
sweat
cheating
on
at
the
City Field.
palms. Yeah,
Yep.
or everybody's cheating. No, but I
Everybody
think it's adrenaline. I think it's the cold air, and we've seen this happen again. Yamamoto with spin, I think it's going to be, with confidence, is going to be as tough of a pitcher to hit in the postseason. Then on the flip side is why I'm conflicted. What have the Mets been doing all postseason long? What have the Mets been doing since June? They win at home and they bounce back after a loss. We just saw it. Dodgers win 9-0. Mets come in, put up 6 in 2 innings. That's what the Mets have been doing. And I respect the hell out of the Mets. So that's why I'm so conflicted. This is actually going to be Yamamoto's biggest test to his pro career at this point.
Yeah.
A hot Mets team who was just embarrassed at home, who's going to be licking their chops to get back in that batter's box
Yeah.
against Yamamoto, who just gained a bunch of confidence after that start against the Padres, where he's able to grip the ball a little bit better. I don't know what to think.
You just spurred a yes or no question in my mind. Is the first inning massively important tonight in this game?
Lindor versus Yamamoto is
Yeah.
like the most important at bat of the
It's
postseason.
so important. Lindor and then Vientos to follow is
Yeah.
so ridiculously important.
It's almost like if I see a 98 from Yamamoto on the fastball and that
It's
thing rises,
they're
it's
going to the World Series.
they're going to the World Series.
Yeah.
If it's like 95 and it's like, "Oh, the spin isn't really there," the Mets are gonna jump on him. They're gonna jump on him because if he's not perfect,
Yeah.
the Mets are gonna jump on him. That's how good the Mets are at home. That's how good the Mets are at bouncing back. That crowd is going to be so into it. He's gotta be perfect. The thing is, I think he can be perfect.
Yeah.
I think he can be that
Yeah.
dominant. That's why right now I'm leaning Dodgers, but if you got other points to kind of teeter me in each way, like I can be convinced here. I'm not sold really on anything. What I do feel the best about is
Yeah.
Yamamoto having his best stuff. That might not end up mattering. The Mets might just be that good. I don't know, but I feel good about that.
I don't really have too much. Like, let's look at the bullpen here. Like you mentioned, the Mets have a decent bullpen here because they left McGill out there to wear it at that point. And Sevy went 4 2/3 at the end of the day. So they burned Reed Garrett for 4 outs, and they left McGill out there for 3 innings. Reed Garrett threw 20 pitches, 15 for strikes. So Garrett could go again on a back to back. So you'd have Garrett on a back to back, and you would have Diaz, Budo, Stanek, and Maton all on 2 days rest. Yeah.
Yes.
The Dodgers side, they'd have Kopech on a back to back after Kopech threw 12 pitches.
He's
They'd
fine.
have Brazier on a back to back. They'd have Trinan on a back to back after he threw 11 pitches.
Yeah, he's
And
fine.
Kasperius is burned.
Yes,
So
they're fine.
Trinan and Kopech on back to backs, but they can turn to Bonda, and they can turn to Evan Phillips with 2 days rest. It's pretty damn even there, and I side with the Dodger bullpen 7 days a week over the Mets bullpen right now. That is, like, the glaring concern for me with the New York Mets.
I I get what you're saying. It's way deeper. It is better. But in this game, if I have rested Diaz and I have Stanek, like not all zeros are created equal. But I still have faith that those guys are going to throw up zeros at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's about what are the Dodgers going to do against Quintana? Because I think it would be naive to expect the Mets not to bounce back offensively, even against a perfect pitcher. They're just that
Yeah.
good of an offense, and they've proven it and done it and deserve everybody's respect in that aspect of the game. So, will the Dodgers hit Quintana? And after that game, it's hard for me to say that they won't.
Who does? I want names.
Let me pull up my numbers.
I
All
want
right.
names.
Um,
Teoscar Hernandez is the easiest name to pluck here.
you know, I think Muncy stays hot. I don't think Muncy gives a shit whether you're lefty or righty.
Okay.
I actually think it's another month. He's putting up the best ABs on the
He
Dodgers.
is balling.
He is. I mean, if he's down in the count, it's a walk. If he's up in the count, it's a homer. I mean, he's putting up the most professional at bats on the Dodgers. He doesn't care. He's 2 for 9. He's hit a home run before off Jose Quintana. Average ball off his bat against Quintana in 13 plate appearances, 97 miles an hour to
Oh,
25
he's
degree
fine.
launch angle. Like he's going to keep hitting. Freddie Freeman has pretty good numbers against him. Kevin Kiermaier, I wonder if they play him. He's actually
No,
seen him
no
really well.
chance. No
Kevin Kier
chance.
Kevin Kiermaier 7 for 16 with 2 doubles, hitting 438
No,
against him.
I'd be floored if Dave Roberts had Kevin Kiermaier on the sheet tomorrow
Goes
or
lefty
today.
lefty, takes out Kike for Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah,
Just
he's
the ultimate chess move. And then we're
oh,
the only ones being like, I don't mind the move.
you know what? Yeah, good X's and O's from you, Dave. Like, no chance. No chance.
I think
But
it's gonna be
that's a
Muncy
good
staying hot.
okay.
Who's gonna hit Yamamoto? I wonder if
Lindor.
they who's Harrison Bader's 3 for 3 with a double. I wonder if they put
Lindor.
him in there.
Lindor. The Mets, I'll do the Joe Davis thing here. The Mets stay alive because Lindor is active in game 4 tonight.
0 for 3 with a strikeout against Yamamoto.
Yeah, don't care. That's a very small sample.
Yamamoto, no, that's all I
That's
need.
huge. Yeah, that is
Over
all you
3
need
one
to know.
game. No, absolutely, it could be him. I think it's gonna be Muncy again. But I got a feeling that Yamamoto found something in that
Yeah.
he's gonna spin
And
7
I
pitches.
and I don't disagree. I
Yeah.
don't disagree at all. I think Quintana is riding this crazy heater right now too.
I think it's a low scoring game, like a 3-2 type game.
God, I hope so. And I heard Smoltz in the ninth say I'm gonna make a prediction. Game 4 is going to extra innings.
I
I was
like
like,
that.
Okay, yeah. I like it too.
What if he dropped in some betting lingo? He's like, "Yeah, I hammered plus 1,200 or something."
Yeah, thanks to our same day parlay or same game
Yeah.
parlay, whatever it is. And then they just flash the graphic. That's television right there.
No, so you heard Joe Davis on a FanDuel, and then just moved on. Like, he was like, "You can place this bet on FanDuel. All right." Just get
2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Let's go to the ALCS here. This is game 3 between the Guardians and the Yankees. Series shifts to Cleveland. This one is Clark Schmidt and Matthew Boyd. I'm pretty fired up to see Schmidt throw in
Me
this one.
too.
Like, I'm very excited to see what version of Schmidt we get on the road in the postseason. I think the next 2 games are like everything at this point. And obviously, the Yankees have a 2-0 series lead, so they can put this thing away. But the Guardians, really, I think their only chance to get back even here. I say that like that's actually very down. It's like the only way they get back even is if they win the next 2 games. The reason I say that is because they have a legitimate opportunity against Schmidt and then against Luis Heel, who is a rookie making his first postseason start tomorrow. But it starts with Schmidt tonight. Where's your confidence level that the Yankees just step on the jugular tonight?
Not high. I
Okay.
think we lose this one.
Okay.
Um,
Why?
Again, the Guardians, only team in the American League with 50 wins at home. Offense ticks up, everything ticks up. You're in front of that home crowd, and every team is completely motivated to win every game. But one team is going to be making decisions in order to win this game, maybe over another,
Yeah.
right? So the Yankees, they are in their worst split against left-handed pitching. And now Matthew Boyd, the Yankees haven't faced him in a long time because Matthew Boyd has only had a handful of starts this year, but the stuff looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really, really good. I don't know, he only went 2 innings in that last game, but struck out 5 Tigers. Shout out BetMGM. We stole from you, took over 3.5 strikeouts. I thought he would go longer. He only went 2 innings. He still got there. No, but um, I just have a feeling we lose this one. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because if we win this game, I mean, series is beyond over. But I don't think the Guardians are going to go without a fight. I think they make a concerted effort to lock up that defense. Base running is going to be better, and I love Schmidt. I don't think it's really going to be Schmidt not pitching well. I think it's going to be Matthew Boyd going like 3 or 4 innings of 1-run ball,
And then
and then the
handing it off.
bullpen, like, you get every single key arm from the Guardians. Yankees just struggle to put up more than 3, Guardians put up 4, and they win. Like, that's how it feels, and then I think the Yankees win out from there, honestly.
I have a question. You said, but Trinan is probably the reliever. I saw this on Twitter.
Yeah.
Trinan is the reliever that you would take over any in the postseason, and you cited Luke Weaver, like over Luke Weaver,
Except Class A.
except Plus A.
Yeah,
I mean, is Cade Smith not there in that conversation right now?
trying to.
I mean, is Cade
Turbos.
Smith not there?
It's your opinion. I
It is
would
my opinion.
I
It
would
is my
take
opinion.
I would take Trinan. I think that turbo sinker combining with the sweeper, that level of spin, I don't know how anybody in the world touches it ever. And I know I'm watching Cade Smith blowing fastballs by everybody all season long, led all
Everybody.
relievers in F4. I understand he had the better season. There were a lot of relievers who had a better season than Blake Trinan. But I have been, Jack, you know this, right? If we're talking about going back to your takes about Bueller from 2021, have I not been consistent? Blake
You have.
Trinan,
You've been
whenever
incredible
he is
since he
on the
was in
mound,
Oakland. Since
I
he was in Oakland.
he is breathtaking for me to
Yeah.
watch. I cannot understand how it's that lack of effort on the mound. Buzz balls at 96, 82 sweeper. They tunnel perfectly off each other. Both of them move in complete opposite directions.
Yeah.
They're different in speed. It's impossible. And of course, he hasn't allowed, like, he hasn't, has anyone even gotten a hit off him in the postseason? It's every single freaking time. And I've been consistent. I think he is as good as any reliever from a stuff perspective I've ever seen in my entire life.
Let me pull up Trinan here. Trinan at this point, 4 and 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, 6 Ks, and 2 walks. Now let me give you Cade Smith. 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 080 against him. He's got a whip of 0.38. He's thrown 120 pitches. 85 have been for strikes. I wouldn't be shocked to see 2 innings from Cade Smith. Maybe 2 innings
I'm gonna
plus.
be completely honest with you. You could have told me the numbers. He had 15 innings, no hits, no runs, 38
And you're
K.
still
I
taking
don't care.
Trinan.
I don't care. It's Trinan is the guy for me. You can disagree with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I think it's
Trinan is
really
the guy
close.
for me.
I think it's really close, but
It's definitely close. There's so
yeah.
many good relievers left. Like Lou Weaver is
Yeah,
fantastic,
he's
right?
amazing.
Tim
He's
Herring's
amazing.
been awesome. Evan Phillips for the Dodgers.
Tim
Edwin
Hill.
Diaz for the Mets. Tim Hill for the Yankees. Clay Holmes, now that he's in his seventh inning role. Like, there's plenty of good ones. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I would shit myself if I was ever in the box with Blake Trinan. But number one
Yeah.
is Class A, but number two
Hey,
is Trinan.
yeah, Pedro Avila with the Guardians. We can keep on going here. I'm
Eli
fine with that.
Morgan with the Guardians.
Eli Morgan. Yeah, that's great. Um, I do think that the off day really helps there, and you can go to the A team after Boyd. And I think you go Boyd for, if you can get 4 out of Boyd, I hope they do let him try 4 because I think he can do it.
One
If
and a
they get,
third
yeah, probably. And then Cade Smith goes longer
for
because
5.
why not? Yeah. But like if
Just
Boyd goes
both. Just start
4,
Kate Smith. I mean, just start him. I mean, that's what
yeah,
you
like
wanna do. Just start
yeah.
him.
If it's like, "Hey, let's see how far you can go before your arm snaps off."
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you have the day off for everybody, and if you go Boyd for 3 or 4 and then you follow with Cade and you can get to the trio of Heron, Gaddis, Clase, um, that could yeah, that could spell failure for the Yankees in game 3, but, like, I have a lot of confidence for some reason in Clark Schmidt just getting out there and
Yeah. No,
shoving.
I guess
I
I picked
also
I picked
yeah.
Yankees in 5, and I was like, before I even
No,
made
you
my
picked
pick
Yankees in 6.
or yeah, what did I even say? It's
You had
late.
Yanks in 6, I had Yanks
Ya
in 5.
Yanks in 6.
I'm the
So,
true Yankee
I
fan
I
here.
I was going through this series, and I was like, I feel like we lose that first start against Boyd at home. That was just, like, why I felt I was like, maybe the Guardians get one more, but when I did my prediction, I was like, "That's the game we'll lose." So, I'm sticking with that. I would love to I mean, I would love to be wrong, and the Guardians have given me absolutely 0 evidence that they can hang with the Yankees right now.
What if Judge got really hot with that one swing?
You know, he's got good numbers against Boyd, but they're old, right?
Yeah,
They're old numbers.
yeah. I'm
Hmm.
just thinking, like, what if he felt that and was like, "Okay, I just felt one go through."
Thing is with Judge and what I was really respecting from when I was listening to his post-game interview, I don't know he is so it's just the next AB, and it's
He
about
doesn't
the team, and I don't who knows what he's actually thinking versus what he says to the media. I don't even know if he's, like, considering whether I'm on a hot streak or not. I think he just deals with every at bat one at a time, and I love the approach.
so if you hate it, you hate it, and I understand. Judge and Jason Tatum share a lot of common traits, I feel like, where
Hmm,
they think about the game and you've got people that like pick tiny things to just shit on them for. Like Judge, it's the postseason thing. Tatum, there was some reason, like for some reason, he's 25, 26 years old, and people are saying, oh, he can't be the number one on a championship team. He's 25 years old coming into the season. Like, let's give him a sec. Let's see if he can do it. And he did it. And whenever you heard him speak with the media, it's like, "Oh, this yeah, like Tatum sucks." There was a lot of Tatum sucks out there, and I know that there's a lot of Judge sucks out there too. Like not, anything to do with, what he does on field, but there are a lot of Judge haters because he's
oh,
doing
yeah.
this for the New York Yankees. Tatum is doing this for the Boston
And
Celtics, but
and Judge is struggling a little bit, like, objectively.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But like it's kind of nice when the sport is repetitive and methodical for these guys. And I feel like for Judge, like he shows up and plays every day. Like this
Yeah.
is he goes to work every day. And like sometimes you have a bad day at work. That doesn't change the overarching narrative about Aaron Judge. Like I don't think he lays there and it's like, let me see what first take is saying about me.
Oh, not at all. And I think so that's why it's like, did he just get hot and did he have to see one through? Like, I don't think that matters to him at all. I think it's just a plate appearance by plate appearance type of approach.
Yeah.
Like, he's not thinking about the home run that he hit at the end of the game against Gaddis, and he's not thinking about the strikeouts before that. It's just, I'm looking for this pitch against Boyd in my first at bat, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, and he might clip one because he's the best hitter in baseball. And I think that's just what it is with him, and I love it. I mean, I do really like this approach from Judge, where it's super super even keeled. There is no, oh, I'm in a slump, oh, I'm really hot. I'm just gonna get a hit or try my best this next AB. That's how it
Yeah.
feels, which is a
Yeah.
good thing to have.
No
I think
doubt.
that's it. Who do you got? Pick your winners.
Mets and Yankees.
I'll go Dodgers and Guardians just for fun.
Nice.
I mean, just
Nice.
for fun. So
Embrace debate.
embrace debate, and hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode of the Just Baseball Show. And if you did, the best way to support, 5 stars, whether it be on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, hitting the like button, subscribing on YouTube. Go get your Just Baseball merch. Of course, I'm rocking the hat. Jack's not. Go check it out in the episode description. Code JB15 for 15% off merch. Jack's got something cooking. What does he got cooking?
Look
What does
at
he got
this.
cooking?
Look at this sick thing that I got from the Arizona Fall League.
That's not that sick. It's just like
I
a
thought it was
regular shirt.
I
that
thought it was
says
kind of
Arizona.
sick. It's a short sleeve hoodie. I'm entering my short sleeve hoodie era. I'm
That's
supporting
a
a
bad
friend of the
era.
program, Pitching Ninja.
That's a
No, I
bad
got a
era to be
Pitching
in.
Ninja short sleeve hoodie, and I was like, I bought it, and I was like, if it's eyewash, I just won't do it again.
No, but
And
pitching ninja is like standing behind guys throwing bullpens. Like, that's kind of like a coach-esque sort of getup, the short sleeve hoodie.
yeah, but I just wanted one to like lounge around in and see how I felt about it. And I was like, you know what? I think I like this. And I
I
saw that they were selling it. And I was like,
I
yeah, I'm gonna do
you're
this.
you're gonna wear that 3 more times in your entire life, and then it's gonna be one of
False.
those things that you
So
find in
false.
a suitcase under your bed, and you're like, "Oh, forgot about that."
For the sake of sticking it to you, I might wear it for the next
Every
3
day.
pods that we do together.
And it'll be the last 3 times that you ever wear it, because then you're gonna
False.
forget
Nope.
about it.
Nope.
But, regardless of Jack's short sleeve, Arizona fall hoodie,
You're
what
such a
else do we have
hater.
to recap? BetMGM, code Just Baseball, get into that bullpen jackpot, splitting 50K in bonus bets for every home run hit into the bullpen. Absolute no-brainer. And remember, game time, right? If you need tickets, code Just Baseball to the playoffs. Tickets are expensive, folks. Might as well get that $20 off your first purchase on game time with code Just Baseball. For Jack McMullen, I am Peter Apple. Of course, we're going to see you tomorrow. With that, thank you, everybody.